How Bizarre is intended for mature, open-minded audiences only. If you are easily offended, we suggest you turn this wacky shit straight off.
All right. Hey guys. How was your week? How was your night?
Well, I peed, loaded my pipe, and then yeah, I guess at some point we'll get better at, because the joke will get old for everybody. I mean, it's new for us, but yeah, we're literally right back. There's no point in hiding it. We already announced that's what we're going to do. I'm trying to think of something that I just watched that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Maybe before we get into mine, I want to know if you guys have seen anything interesting.
I just wanted to say, I was so excited for our movie night we were trying to set up. I've been looking forward to doing this for a really long time.
It's like the one thing that got like everybody interested. Like, yeah, I'm in too.
Yeah, I mean, because it'd be so fun. And basically, I wanted to make Ron, John, Mark, and Lyle watch Nope, Jordan Peele's Nope, and maybe get some of the listeners in. We put a post up on Facebook. It garnished a shitload of interest. And I had read on several fucking reputable websites that you can log into Discord and start a movie stream and share it so everyone that's in your chat can be watching the same movie. And at one point, I guess this worked great. But recently, the fucking browsers and Discord like chomped down on it. And I mean, I tested this a half dozen times trying to get this to work, and it just every single time black screen.
Yeah.
And I went through all the tricks in the settings. I read even somebody had commented asking their friend to come in and give us pointers. I read through his pointers. Nothing would fucking make this work. So we had to cancel it. If you know a way to do this, please reach out to me because I want to make this happen. But fuck me, man. So I got so down.
So what did we do before when we did that? Because we did it successfully twice, right?
Well, we did the Netflix party thing,
Discord,
but that was just with chat. Is the idea of this
that was a Zoom, wasn't it?
Is the idea of this that we are able to hear each other talking, like Mystery Science Theater style, while we're watching the movie?
Yeah. I would hope. Like I could pause the flick and we could talk. What
we did, we watched the Harry Potter guy, the dead, what the fuck was
Swiss
that?
Army Man.
The Swiss Army Man. We watched that with some of our listeners using Netflix Party. But that was just a chat. That was fun. But
still, it was fun.
I don't think Netflix Party is a thing anymore, but it looks like there's a third party that will work with Netflix as Netflix Party. But that wasn't, I wasn't clear what you were trying to do in the first place. I thought that's what you were trying to do, is so that we could chime in and shoot the shit. But yeah, it's one of those things. It's like, as you said, when you were doing all your frustrating trials and errors, it's 2024 now. And it's like the fact that this shit is so hard. It's only this hard because it's by design. And I get it. I mean, there's a lot of legalities, but then there's also Discord. I don't think it's really set up to cater to that sort of thing. And I got to imagine that adds a shit ton. Well, I don't know how it works. Maybe it doesn't add a shit ton of used bandwidth. I don't know. But streaming, going back just to when we were starting to do virtual shit with COVID, it was a fucking nightmare. You remember all the things I had planned for us and all the little half starts we tried, and we did some stuff, but it was always fraught with technicalities. Although we were on Skype back then, we could probably do that more. I miss doing some of it. I definitely miss mine and Christopher's little show, but that took a lot of time and effort to put that out. So we aren't going to promise that we'll bring that back, but it would be nice if we could, as we've been talking about for years, join the video podcast. There is something nice to be able to just watch people doing it, but I don't find myself watching them do it very often. Where it's interesting is like last week we were talking about the giant Pacific garbage patch. It'd be nice if we could show the audience what we're talking about, and they could, just like Joe Rogan, he tells Jamie to pull some shit up and they see it all together and comment on it. That's what a lot of people expect from a podcast these days. And that's what I wanted to do out of our video cast, but it's still just fucking weird and tricky. I don't know. Or maybe we're dumb. Let let Christopher know.
We're not millionaires with the fucking studios. What the problem is?
Well, sure. Yeah. Chris, give the email out. You haven't given it in a while. Your specific email that you would like people to reach out, because I bet someone out there can help us out. If not through Discord, then maybe some other thing.
It's christopher.bizarre@gmail.com, or just, find us on Facebook, shoot us a message that way too. It's pretty easy.
Well, you know what's crazy is that I see people streaming shit on TikTok all the time. Now, the video games you can just stream right into. TikTok was slow to jump on this board, but they or jump on board with this concept, but they have it now where video gamers, a lot of the famous streamers have gone to TikTok because they made it a thing. But for a long time, and still, you're seeing people just literally setting up their phones or cameras in front of their TV, hitting play and sitting in the room, chit-chatting. At the very least, we could probably do that, although I probably have the most TikTok followers out of all of us, and I'm nowhere near 1,000, and that's what you need to do a live stream. But I see people doing it all the time.
You actually make content?
Huh?
Do you actually make TikTok content?
No, that's the thing. I haven't put a video up on TikTok in probably maybe 2 years. I should. I got content. I could put shit up. I could just put videos up of me painting, talking about it. People watch that shit. I haven't.
Sure.
If I was working at it and I got all our listeners to come follow that are on TikTok or sign up for TikTok just for this thing, I bet I could get there if I put an effort into it. But I never see these people getting shut down, even though they're 100% illegally streaming content. Yeah, it's tinny. It's tinny sound. But, it's getting better. Like I sat and watched, not just the T-Swift, but I watched half of an Iron Maiden show from some dude that was in the nosebleeds, and it sounded fucking great. I watched a recent Smashing Pumpkins concert. It was incredible to watch. Sometimes the nosebleed seats are the funnest because you get a bit of the lights in the arena. Tool, someone streamed Tool not that long ago. It's totally watchable. So that might be a hokey, low-budget way of doing it, and then they can just chime in, and I don't know, we could have a speaker set up that we're shooting the shit with our voices over Discord.
I just don't understand how many... I know people want to do this. Like, why can't they just say, okay, everyone that wants to be involved, please sign in with your Prime credentials so we all know you can watch this flick. Mm-hmm. That would be fine. Everyone fast fucking Prime or Netflix or something,
That's what you had to do with Netflix, but they didn't allow any kind of voice. I said, it's easy to do, but look, I hate to bring up the Huskies game that just happened because... painful, even more painful than the Seahawks because they had a perfect season and then they ended on that. Congrats to all you bastard Michigan fans out there. That must have been a much more fun game for y'all. But I went down to, I subscribed to Sling, and with Sling you get some of the Fox Sports, the package that I have. You get the Fox Sports and you get ESPN, and sometimes I switch around depending on what sports season it is. I follow all this shit, and then I watch a lot of the side stuff that nobody wants to watch, like Scottish darts. That's a separate.
I can't get this motherfucker to watch a current movie because he's out here watching Scottish darts.
Well, you know how I watch it. It's on in the background. You can have sports on in the background.
I mean, I still love it, but goddamn,
I've been watching shit lately. That's definitely one of my resolutions is to watch more shit this year, and I'm already on the right track. I'm just spacing what I wanted to talk to you guys about concerning that. But anyway, I went down. My dad doesn't have cable, and he really wanted to watch the show, and he's like, I'll just put the antenna up. I think they'll probably play it on Fox. Like, there's no way they're playing it on Fox. It's an ESPN feed. So I went down there and got him set up on Roku with my Sling account. And I pay for the Sling account that gets you three different machines. They can be anywhere, of course. It doesn't have to be in the same fucking Wi-Fi.
Oh, like 3 screens or whatever.
You get 3 devices, yeah. And so I was like, I know I have this that's my account. I'm paying the maximum money that you pay for a Sling account. It should be 3 streams, but it kept booting one of us off. So then I read the fine print, and what it is that you can have 3 people watching something on Sling, but it can't be the same channel. It can't be the same stream. I'm like, why?
That's ridiculous.
Like, fucking why? Give me one logical reason why. I can't even think of a legal reason why or a financial reason why. It's like, if you're if you're giving the option for multiple streams, I don't know. It's like we all felt pretty sure of ourselves when we cut the cable and kicked the satellite to the curb. But holy shit, was TV and watching shit easier back then, right? It was expensive and it was ridiculous, but it was fucking easier. It's like this horse shit is, especially with sports, is ridiculous. So it doesn't surprise me at all that we're still struggling to stream movies with a bunch of friends. Fucking ridiculous, though.
Oh, so stupid. Oh, so mad. So, I was really disappointed, guys.
I think we'll figure it out.
This is a totally kludgy workaround, but like, couldn't we do like
kludgy?
Yeah, kludgy. You know, like
it's kludged.
You don't know that word? KLUDGE. Kludged.
No, sounds racist.
It's kludged together. It's
I kludged before the podcast. It helps me relax, but never heard of this.
Yeah, well, look it up. You'll love using this word because it's great.
Okay.
So, say Netflix watch party is a thing still, right? Couldn't we like all like use that to watch the movie, but then also just log into the Discord voice chat channel and chat that way? Like,
maybe, yeah.
Well, you mean just like sync it up as best we can on our own devices?
Or no, just be logged into Discord so we can, or like on chat like we are right now, and then just
have and be controlling the Netflix movie on another screen. Or just in the background is Discord, and you're watching. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, so it would be like the TikTok fix, but through Discord.
Kinda, yeah. Well, so we're just like on a chat channel, and it's like, I would think that any computer now would be capable of handling two audio streams,
like a screen capture
right?
thing. I was thinking like setting up the camera in front of the TV, but a screen capture.
No, you're just watching the movie on.
I think what he's saying is screen. Like. We're on a computer right now. Open up Netflix. Go to Watch Party. We all
this is getting really kludgy, you guys.
Bless you.
It's a word I use.
Well, it's like I can like right now we're on Discord, right? I could just open up the YouTube app and be watching YouTube and listening to it at the same time as we're talking.
We must sound so fucking old to a lot of people listening, but go ahead, Joe.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it makes sense to me. I get what you're saying.
He probably does, but I keep interrupting to make stupid jokes. Say it one more time. Explain this one more time to me.
Okay.
Me.
Okay. So we're talking right now, right?
Yeah.
On Discord. Well, at the same time, I'm watching a video on YouTube. So we could be watching a movie on a different application and just be logged in the chat channel, talk to each other, right?
So you'd have your camera on with the TV in the back. Well, yeah, that's what I was saying. That's what I thought.
And anybody that wants to join in can just join into the Discord channel, right? We just
because it wasn't my intention for us to like make this video and put it up where the movie's playing. You know, we couldn't do that obviously, but just a experience for our listeners to jump in and share something with us.
Yeah,
and I think that would work, right? I don't know.
Oh, I thought exactly what. Oh, I'm so confused. I thought that's exactly what you wanted to do. Is like there would be a stream of the movie in Discord, and we're all talking over it.
Yes, but we can still achieve what we want there if we log into a Watch Party application.
I love this.
And all of our users do. And then we open up Discord and we just run the two apps simultaneously. People are listening to the movie, watching the movie, and we're chatting over it at the same time.
Okay. But they're seeing the movie through John Mark's camera. That's
No. Every single person's logged into that Watch Party app like we did the first time, but we're also running Discord at the same time.
So if they want to hear us talk, they just jump into our Discord channel also.
Okay. I'm sorry. I missed the two separate pieces of, two components.
Two components, yes.
Gotcha.
It could work.
Okay.
We'll do some testing.
That is.
We'll see. I think it'd be so fun.
Because there was a Netflix party thing. It looked like it was a third party thing. I don't know why Netflix got rid of it, but
I think Netflix implemented it. I think you can go to. I think you can do it.
It seemed legit. Like it didn't seem like I was going to a sketchy thing. And
John Mark, we're gonna have to get you a laptop, buddy. Do we need to start a fucking like a GoFundMe or something? Well, come on, man.
No, we could get you. We could get a GoFundMe.
I honestly could just fucking go to Costco and just buy one on my credit card. But
when you are in a position, put this on your list because it'd be cool to do more. And I know you kind of just use what you got, and you do all right. But I think it'd be easier for you.
Yeah,
it might be. Yeah.
All right.
Well,
anyways.
Yeah. And if anyone listening has a less kludgy solution, a less kludgy solution to this dilemma, then email Christopher and we can get something going. But yeah, we should try something like that. We can do a little test. It doesn't really matter how we do it. It can be hokey.
It would be
still
fun.
Sounds
like,
fun.
you know, the podcast is fun. I really enjoy doing this, but it does feel like work a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And the few times that we get together and just fuck around, it feels so good.
Yeah.
Like I need one of those with my boys soon. We'll try to get it, guys.
Yeah, that does sound fun.
With my boys.
You get your balls in, and maybe we can come too. Send us an invite.
Don't party.
Okay, so there's going to be video and Discord, and okay. Well, should we move on? Because I've got some interesting sex history and sex facts that I did not bring a couple episodes back, and looking at the clock. Now, there may be a few of these. Stop me if I went through these. I feel like I did a pretty good job of deleting, because I was going to get these all in one episode, but I think I deleted all the ones that I covered. We talked a lot about Egypt. We touched a little on ancient Greece, but there's some stuff here that I thought was worth mentioning before we get into the tiny little tidbits. Now, in the modern world, the general consensus is that masturbation is best left to the privacy of our own home, of course, but in ancient Greece, public masturbation was used by the infamous philosopher Diogenes. Did I say that wrong, John Mark? Diogenes? Diogenes?
I don't know.
I feel like Diogenes is right, but I feel like I hear it Diogenes. Anyway, the founder of cynicism, who lived in a barrel and was called a dog by many of his critics. But when somebody finally scolded him for his public jacking off habit, Diogenes responded, "If only it were so easy to soothe hunger by rubbing an empty belly." Now, there's a philosophical quote.
I think maybe Diogenes. I think that's how you pronounce it. Diogenes.
Okay, well, how about Aristophanes? That's right, yeah. In Aristophanes' famous comedy, Lysistrata, about women withholding sex. I don't know. I'm not familiar with Lysistrata, but I feel like I hear.
I'm not familiar with that one.
Aristophanes. His famous
so glad
comedy.
This is you and not me.
Me too. I like this. Lysistrata is a famous comedy about women withholding sex from their men in order to stop war. The Spartans are roasted for their enthusiastic engagement in self-pleasure. It's fitting that the appeal of a Spartan herald with a large erection begins the peace talks. But we can only wonder if the events in Lysistrata worsened the Spartans' dependence. Kissing, on the other hand, was not something the Greeks thought highly of. So at some point, they got pretty comfortable with public masturbation. It was seen as this proud warrior's display. Lyle, if you walked into For the Love of It the other day with a Spartan's attitude,
like outfit.
Well, no, you would have been arrested, but you don't want to pull it out and start taking care of biz. But
I probably would have grabbed a couple of the fucking 18-inch dildos off the wall and pretend they were swords, and I would have slayed my victims, my little Medusas, I would say. I would slay them.
Well, you know, one of my favorite things in that store is, I forgot to bring it up when we were talking about last. I think it's homemade. They have a display of all their different condoms, and the way they
I missed that.
The way they display, it's right by the display case when you walk, or it was. I only go in there to drop off the comment and head out, so I haven't been in there to walk around in quite a while. But it's a huge store. Like for an adult shop, it's a big shop. But I'm pretty sure they made this. It's like a little countertop with a bunch of holes, and there's air, like fans blowing up through the holes, and they have the condoms taken out of the package and affixed to the table over the holes. So they're all inflated so that you can see their size and their shape. It's fucking... I always thought that's a piece of kitsch art that I really admire. And the fact that it looks homemade, I appreciate even more so. I'll have to get a picture next time I'm in there.
The little smiley faces on them.
Mm-hmm. Some of them are like intimidating. Like, there's ribbed for her pleasure, and then there's ribbed for, and spiked for whatever.
Spiked for hassle.
Whatever you fucking need, man. Whatever gets you there, I suppose. But I found it interesting that once even in the age where public sex, let alone masturbation, was kind of all the rage in Greece, kissing, on the other hand, was not something that the ancient Greeks thought highly of, at least not sexually. Kissing as a form of greeting was fairly normal, even when greeting people that you're just meeting. Many men would greet their peers, their fellow men, with a kiss on the hand or a kiss on the cheek and lips prior to important business meetings. But kissing your wife or your partner was considered a sign of a weak man. The famous Athenian general Pericles was criticized for frequently kissing his wife on the lips in public. And this is primarily because...
I assumed it was just because of snaggletooth, like really bad breath or something.
Well, who knows how things
Hygiene,
get started.
in general.
And then once...
What are you going to brush your teeth with back then?
Well, once something becomes a trend, it just becomes a trend and you don't question it. I mean, did we all foresee people stampeding themselves to get to a fucking Stanley Cup just because it was pink in a limited special edition at Target? You guys saw this shit, right?
No.
You didn't
I
see
hate everything.
Tell me you saw this shit.
Everything.
This was one of the most
I did.
embarrassing public display. So for whatever reason, these Stanley mugs have become... They think it's like influencers that just started using them and talking about them like they were so much more special than any other fucking brand or any other type of cold, these little thermos cups that keep your shit cold. Usually it's cold. Some of them are hot and cold. But they had a special edition pink one. I think it was a Target special. And they only had a limited edition. Of course, they could make more, but they want to fuck with us like the monkeys we are. And we acted like the monkeys we are when we lined up and stampeded into the fucking Targets and started conking each other over the noggins with them, fighting to get them. And, they're like a $40, $50, $60 thing, whatever. By the end of that day, they were all gone. And so you saw them popping up on eBay for like $500 or $600. It's like... Jesus. Why? This thing is literally worthless in 2 months because we're on to the next thing. But you are fucking trendy as hell right now.
And Stanley's, they're okay, but they're way far superior mugs. Like Yetis, they keep your shit cold, dude, for like 16 hours.
Oh, it's nothing but brand porn. I've got one. Was it Takeshi or something like that? Yeah, that shit. If you put ice in that and you leave it out in the sun, well, maybe not out in the sun, but you leave it in your hot car for half the day, you come back, that thing has still got ice rattling around in it. What else do you fucking need? The rest is just trendy shit. I do like that these Stanley cups, the ones that are all the rage, I do like that they fit in your cup holder. Mine don't. Yeah. Mine is just like one of those 40-ounce jugs. It's like a tube. These ones just... But I've seen those cheaper versions of that too. Anyway.
I use Stanley thermoses for probably 30 years of my life, of work.
I've got you got the classic green one?
Oh yeah, I have 2 of those.
I got mine.
If I still have them anymore, I'm sure I do. I don't throw anything away usually. So I have like my grandfather's one, I think, unless I did toss that one. But regardless, I have a Yeti tumbler, and that thing I could fill with ice, and fill it up with water at 6 in the evening, and that thing will still have ice in it at like 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning when I wake up.
Yeah.
I'll have to dump it out to put coffee in it because it's still there.
I'm sipping whiskey right now from a brand new Yeti cup, which I've never had before. Yeah. My parents got this for me for Christmas. And let me tell you, if you're used to getting your morning coffee and putting it in a mug and just sipping it as it just kind of naturally cools on the counter, it takes some fucking used to picking this thing up 15 minutes later and being reminded that it's just as hot as it was right out of the fucking tea kettle. Whew, I have scorched my tongue. Anyway, ancient kissing frowned upon in Greece. Yeah, go ahead.
I have a Mir. What's that? It's Mir, I think. MIIR water bottle that my work gave to me when I first started as part of my onboarding swag. And that thing, I will fill it up with like crushed ice and water at work, and like 2 days later, it'll still have ice in it.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Wow, that's really good.
Yeah. So what is this if not? I feel like I read a little tidbit when all of this was all over the news, and it was tied to some social media influencer. I don't know who. But now, since I've been aware of that. Scrolling through TikTok, you see a lot of the big influencers that are well known. Yep, they all have them, and they have to have them in frame, sipping on them constantly. It's like, whatever keeps you hydrated, y'all, and whatever makes you feel special. And I don't know.
Hydrate.
There's, I suppose there's a version of this. I don't know. I can't think of any version of this in my own life. If there was there was a time when there was going way back when there was like a limited edition comic book that you had to be there for Free Comic Book Day, and certainly a little bit later on with Record Store Day, you wanted to be there to get these exclusives. But I don't even do that anymore. It's like I don't chase this shit down anymore. I don't get excited about that kind of stuff. Do you guys? Can you think of anything in your life that is even remotely like that? Like, I gotta be there. Gotta get that thing. Gotta line up.
I went through a period of that, like during the pandemic, when I was like heavily into collecting enamel pins. And a lot of those things are pretty limited edition. So it's like when you hear about like, oh, this pin, like, because they'll announce like here's what's coming out like in like 2 weeks or whatever, right? And if it's something that you want, you're like, okay, well, you like you note the date and the time, and you get ready, and you're like, okay, it's like 10:58. It's gonna be online at 11, and you just like you got your thumb hovering over the pay thing, and you know what I mean. And some of these things literally will sell out in seconds, like.
Yeah,
and so it was kind of addicting.
But they don't have to. They can just make more.
Rush of, yeah.
You know where I've seen this with kids? I haven't seen it in a while. Sarah's kids are getting older and they've moved on to other things. But actually, one of them, you guys will be proud. All they asked for Christmas was an actual NES. So Sarah went down to our local retro video game shop, the Time Capsule, and found a working NES. 2 controllers, and got a few games. I had some of my old games like Super Mario 3. I know I got Mega Man 2 somewhere around here. Mario 3 was the gem that I had, and then got Super Mario 2, and that'll keep you busy for a while. But they're digging it. They're loving them old classics.
That's so fucking cool.
But a couple years ago, they were into these. I think one of them was LOL dolls or LOL kids. They're just these little collectible. There were different versions. The ones they loved were like about the size of a tennis ball. It was just this plastic thing. You unwrapped it, and you got what you got. You didn't know what was going to be inside. Which one? And it comes out.
Were these the ones that you would dip in the water and like lingerie would appear?
Yeah, we talked about those. Some of them had like S&M gear and. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. That was weird because this shit is 100% geared toward kids. But you'd get what you get, and they'd have like little costumes and little accessories, but there would be a map, like this catalog of here's what you got, here's the story. And the first thing they would ask when they'd open it, they didn't even really care what it was or what it did or what accessories it had. They just had to go to the map. Is this a rare one? Is it rare? Is this one? Because they put some rare ones in there that maybe there are only 100 made or whatever. And that's like all they cared about. It's like, well, they could have made 1 million of those too, but it's like this program shit to just drive us crazy. Oh, there's only a few of them. And it's fucking brilliant because we've all, in one way or another, we have all fallen prey to this. But I'm glad that they moved past that. Although I was kind of excited to open those. It was clever. It was a fun fucking thing because you never knew. And occasionally they would get a rare one and they would lose their shit, but then they would just be bored with that toy in like 3 or 4 days and on to the next one. So it's such a disposable world we're in right now. Maybe it's always been to some degree. Anyway, I think I wrapped up the kissing stuff. The Greeks had some interesting angles on prostitution. The Athenian lawmaker Solon, to rhyme with colon, regulated prices in state-sponsored brothels, and these brothels had both female and male sex workers, the latter primarily servicing older male clientele. And these establishments would apparently offer many cheap rates compared to those prostitutes on the streets who cleverly would wear sandals, which would leave an imprint reading "Follow Me" on the ground. I thought that is a really interesting ancient marketing campaign. They literally made stamps out of their sandals saying, "Come this way, boys." The high-class citizens did have some options at the public brothel, however. And these patrons could sign a contract with a mistress workers who were skilled in pleasing men, both physically and with their superior wit, which I found fascinating. Like, this was the age of, well, like, all these philosophical people were coming into, you know, beginning the age of enlightenment, I suppose, or some phase of it. And so they wanted a little bit of wit with their pumping, as they might say, as they might.
The Wit and Pumping, that's the name of the brothel I like to frequent, actually.
The old Wit and Pump, the gas station / brothel / library.
You were so highly educated, most well traveled.
Yeah, you were more educated and traveled than I. But one thing they left out of the movie 300, the Spartans apparently were well known to take advantage of their younger boys who were in training. They weren't, for whatever reason, they had all sorts of philosophical things that I read in the article that was talking about this. Obviously, nobody knows, but it's an interesting part that, wisely left out. They were essentially having their way with, and I'm not talking about like the young men they are training. I mean like the young boys, the kids that were being trained up. Yeah, so that's basically where the actual Spartan training began, is that the older Spartans get their way with you. I had never heard that before. I cross-examined this with at least 2 or 3 searches. I'm like, ugh, yeah, don't like that. Not cool, Sparta. Suddenly I'm not so sad that you went extinct. All right, moving on to some of these tidbits. Now, again, I may have shared some of these, so stop me if one of these sound familiar. But this first one, we've talked about all these studies that point out the health benefits of having regular orgasms. Use them or lose them isn't one that I think I have heard. But apparently there's a medical condition known as, for the women, clitoral atrophy, which, just as it sounds, is when the clit doesn't receive enough blood flow, doesn't receive enough sexual activity in general, that it actually retracts into the body, and therefore causing all sorts of sexual dysfunction. Unless you think the guys are getting off easy here, there's also penile atrophy, which can occur, although it's less likely to do with the lack of sex and more to do with, aging or injury or health things. But there seems to be a lot of studies, more and more that I have seen, saying that even just getting hard-ons, like being hard for a significant amount of time, I mean, not hours, but, enough. Let's say that you, the wife and the kids are over the hill at grandma's, and you got half a bottle of whiskey and some Pornhub, and you're making an evening of it. Doesn't even have to be sex. The amount of time that you're just hanging out with yourself is enough to keep the blood flowing down there. I don't know. It makes sense to me. It's like, use it or lose it always makes sense to me. If you think about any other muscle that we have, any other blood flow, if you're not doing it on a regular basis, things do start to atrophy. So I don't want to freak anybody out, but if you go through an extended period of time and, the Ronster's a horny, sexually active motherfucker, but I get busy, I get bogged down. Sometimes I'm sick. Sometimes I go phases without having sex every 3 hours. It's like, I better get on some shit. It's a good reminder to at least take care of some biz, make sure everything, all the plumbing still works, so to speak. It's for your health, after all. And you've earned it. I know you've earned it.
I think, to be honest with you, I think it's healthy for your prostate to, rub one out every once in a while if you're not getting it.
Yeah, that was on one of these lists, and I looked it up. All of these studies, even the one I just talked about, there seems to be some evidence of it, but there's not a ton of evidence. But again, it makes sense. It just makes sense that if you are using those parts and things are getting flushed out and things are moving, I don't know. It makes sense, but I'm no doctor. Living out your
Wish you were, Ron.
Oh boy, it'd be trouble. I wonder what I'd prefer to be a doctor in. Because I'm drawn to certain.
We know. We know.
I'm drawn to certain parts of. Oh God, now everything's gonna sound dirty. Like, I don't.
Proctology.
I can't.
Oh, he loves the ass.
Oh yeah, well. I don't
What
think
can
you
I
can get
remove
away
today?
with
Snap.
just accepting patience.
Think about the fodder for the podcast, Ron. Let's get you in medical school. Get this going.
I'll take one for the team, and I would be taking a lot for the team because I'm not interested in dudes' butts. So that would be at least half, maybe more of my clientele, because a lot of women prefer to go see a female doctor. So I would probably.
I just imagined you being a sex doctor for like a divorced. Yeah, for divorced women, you'd be like the head of the the classroom. You'd be like, okay, ladies, reach into your desks.
This is how his cult starts.
Pull out
oh man,
pull out your donated object from what was it for the love of it, and then
this is cult stuff. I've seen a few cult documentaries lately. One of them was on the Twin Flame cult, but before I saw that, I was watching the one. Oh, what is it? I think it's Perfect. It's called Perfect something. It was the lady who would train all these people, men and women, to basically rub women off, not necessarily to orgasm or to full on completion, but to get them into that state, a suspended state. And it was crazy because they're interviewing all these dudes. Is like, it was a dream come true. I got to rub women's clits all day long and make them orgasm and brought them to these spiritual enlightenment. And it's like, are you hearing what you're saying? Of course that was awesome for you. And of course this is completely fucked up. But is it? I don't know. Consenting adults. It's something when there's this hierarchy and there's always one person and there's always this power dynamic that fucks things up in those kinds of situations. Like, that's where it stops being a sex club or some sort of really open-minded health kind of clinic. Like there's naked yoga, there's couples yoga, there's swingers. I mean, if who's going to complain other than the puritanical type folk? Open-minded, consenting adults. You want to swing? You want to have orgies? What's the fucking problem? It's just an inch or two away from being something that somebody is overseeing and profiting on somehow. But then there was this other cult that I saw. There was sex involved, of course, because she called herself God. Do you know the one I'm talking about?
Cult.
Huh?
No.
She called herself Mother God. This just came out on Max. It is a really interesting series, and she was super all about taking colloidal. I never want to say that. Colloidal silver. She thought that was like the miracle drug, and she always had her right hand man, but that changed. And the right hand men were sometimes like innocent puppy dog hippie guys getting laid by the relatively beautiful woman when things started out. Well, relatively. I think she's beautiful. I think most people would. But she starts taking all this fucking silver and she starts turning blue. I don't know if you realize this, but when you overdose on silver, you're poisoned on silver. You start turning this insane blue purple color. But she was still keeping at it, keeping it going. And she was like, God, I have to know what the name of this is so you guys can watch it. This is the craziest fucking doc. Mother God.
That just made me flash back to the 90s when the
when I had that silver fucking cult. No, Love has won. The Cult of Mother God. Love has won. The Cult of Mother God on. I'm pretty sure that was on Max. Look it up. Sorry, Lau. Go ahead.
No, you remember the blue waffle thing? Ugh.
All I know is I've had to hear you say blue waffle 3 fucking times.
I know. It's just
I never remember what blue waffle means. Do I want to? Do I want to be reminded?
No.
Just go Google it real quick. We'll wait for it.
No, I feel like there's an image.
Don't anyone.
Just once.
I highly recommend, as anyone's legal advisor,
listen to Chris
for morality.
You're not my real lawyer. Blue waffle, here I come. Nothing has made me Google faster than hearing Chris say, "Don't look this up." Okay, all I'm seeing are literal blue Eggos. These are clearly illustrations for stories.
That's not Eggos
about blue waffles.
Those aren't.
I guess Eggos. I could look. I don't need to see it. Okay, a lot of symptoms that are supposedly associated.
Add the word disease.
A red or irritated vagina or vulva usually smelly discharge? Is this just like a super sexist way of saying a woman's STD?
No. There is an image that is floating around.
You'll never get it out.
Okay.
It'll stay there for
here we are. Medical news today. Is blue waffle disease real? Blue waffle disease does not exist. Despite photographic evidence showing a person's blue-colored vulva, there is no such infection. So-called fake news can emerge from all areas of the internet, and rumors can spread quickly. A 2018 study showed that false rumors reach more than the truth. Well, we don't need to talk about that. That's the modern life.
This was written from somebody that was accused of having it, I bet.
Gaslight
This bitch totally had blue waffle.
Never happened. It's not real.
Nice try, blue waffler.
Yeah.
Can you get blue waffle symptoms from frequent sex? Sex is a natural and healthy. Oh, come on. We don't need the generic stuff. Although the vagina produces natural lubricant, too much sex can cause vaginal dryness, leading to uncomfortable friction during sex. I am very unclear. I'm still unclear. What was it supposed to be?
It looks like something that got beat up with a baseball bat, like black and blue.
Oh, okay.
There was a picture of a vagina.
Well, why not blue taco? Was like what?
Because it looked like it had been stomped with a waffle iron.
Yeah, there you
go.
So
it actually had like divots, like little squares.
Yeah,
nooks and crannies for the butter and syrup.
I'm just glad to know what's one thing I can sleep better night knowing. The blue waffle disease ain't real.
Oh my God! Someone on Etsy is selling a waffle iron replacement iron. It's mostly a waffle shape, but there's a vagina right in the middle of it, and it's blue. You can literally order a blue waffle and make, with food coloring, a blue waffle. I can't find any images, and it's probably for the best. But it seems like whatever you all think blue waffle is. Okay, here we go. Verywellhealth.com says a 2010 internet meme hoax claimed that women with multiple sex partners can catch a fake STI that turns the vagina and labia blue. Well, I know that it can turn pretty purpley if it's super turned on. I mean, some dicks do, not all. Some dicks could be called blue hot dogs. Doesn't mean it's... I mean, that's like a blood thing. I don't know.
Well, yeah, technically your blood is blue underneath your skin. Then when it hits oxygen, it turns red.
That's a myth. Is that true? I always heard that. Is that true?
Yeah,
all right. Yeah, fuck it. We're on our own here.
Jesus.
Is blood...
Uncharted territory, boys.
Blue before hitting speed of type. Oh, okay.
That's why your veins are blue when you look at them in the light.
Yeah, I've always heard it. I believe it, but some of them are red. Some of that shit.
I'm leaning towards false.
Maybe you've heard that blood is blue in our veins because when headed back to the lungs, it lacks oxygen. But this is wrong. Human blood is never blue. The bluish color, this is off the conversation.com, it's the first thing that popped up. The bluish color of veins is only an optical illusion? I'm going to need more than that, Chief. Blue light does not penetrate as far... Blue light does not penetrate as far into tissue as red light. What? Oh, this is some life-changing... An optical illusion? You can't tell me that we're not seeing it.
This is a real blue vein, yellow vein situation, isn't it?
Oh, we got a whole new debate to spark. Okay, let me try a different one. This is scienceworld.com. Where did the idea of blue blood come from? The confusion about blood's color started in the 19th century when the term blue blood was used to describe aristocrats. No, come on, aristocrats. Aristocrats. I was in that movie too. At the time, the aristocrats...
Yeah, better than you, man.
Oh, this isn't... Okay, here's what we want. Why are my veins blue? Veins are not blue. This is a fucking... This is a blue vein, red vein scenario. Oh, we're going to start a controversy right here. Okay, veins are not blue. They only look blue because when wavelengths of light hit your skin and veins, some light is absorbed and reflected back at you. What is happening? What do you mean? Well, okay, that makes sense.
there's an ad for this new toothpaste, right? It's like a gel, right? And it's purple. And when they put it on your teeth, if you have yellow teeth, your teeth will instantly go white because it's taking that color of yellow out of your teeth.
You got quiet again,
illusion. Well, with the illusion of purple. That makes sense?
Yeah. Well, I mean, in all sincerity, this does tie into the whole phenomenon of that gold versus white dress.
Yeah.
It's how we see the contrast of those two colors on that screen. If you zoom in one way or the other, everyone sees the same thing. But it's when you take in the whole picture. Okay, let me finish this, though. Wavelengths of blue light cannot penetrate skin as well as red light, and more blue wavelengths are reflected back at you than red wavelengths. As a result, the veins that you can see through your skin look blue.
Weird.
So not only is our blood not blue, but the veins that we see as blue are not blue. I can't wrap my head around this explanation. John Mark, does this make sense?
Where's Rob at?
Yeah.
Did you know this? Well, then explain it again.
I don't think I did know that, but it does make sense.
Let it out, Ron.
Octopuses and horseshoe crabs have blue blood. Literally nobody else does. This is because the protein transporting oxygen. Okay, well, I've seen enough to believe it. The explanation still boggles my mind that we're just not interpreting this color as red when it's red. I don't get it.
Very, very rarely does a little story break you like this, Ron.
I'm surprised it's not breaking you guys like it's breaking me.
I mean, it's the science I don't quite understand, but I'm like,
it's just a certain wavelength of light, or a certain frequency of the light is not getting through to bounce back to your eyes to make it look red to you. So that's why it looks blue.
Why, it's simply a manifestation of.
Well, it's the same concept. Well, I don't know if it's the same concept of why the sky's blue. It's a reflection. Yeah, check on this one too.
Oh God,
it's a reflection of the ocean.
I don't think I can handle it tonight.
Well, it's a reflection of the oceans, isn't it? The sun beaming off the ocean.
The ocean's blue because it's a reflection of the sky. Oh, Jesus Christ. Am I really about to... Is the sky blue?
We're just a bunch of dummies.
This is my favorite kinds of shows. We just literally look shit up. The sky... Oh, Jesus Christ. This is the same... Lyle's
same
right.
Answer, huh?
It's the same fucking shit. The sky appears blue to the human eye as the short waves of blue light are scattered more than the other colors in the spectrum, making the blue light more visible. To understand why the sky is blue, we first need to understand a little bit about light. I'm done understanding for the night.
Right.
I'm going to pour me another whiskey.
Class is over, bitches.
I think we're about time for some weird triv. Where are we at clockwise?
If you want to know the truth, call Bill Nye. He'll tell you the truth. We don't know anything.
Let me do a few more of these because I don't want to bring this list back up. I want to end on some of these troubling ones here. Let's see. Oh, here's an interesting. This isn't too troubling, but I found it surprising. Little trivia question: a nationwide study shows that when no sex toy is in the house, and women and or men looking for a little ramming session reach for this common household item, and hint, it is not food. What do you guys guess?
Toothbrush.
Toothbrush?
What? Toothbrush?
I feel like your first guess is going to be somewhat telling. Really? Toothbrush, huh?
Well,
Toothbrush guy, Chris?
I was going to...
Wait, like, okay, so you need to use a sex toy, basically, right? We're talking like, you want to fuck something, right?
It's a penetrative, is that how you would say it? Yeah, no, I think you're on the...
But not a food item.
Well, what were you thinking with
Maybe not
toothbrush?
I was thinking like the vibrating, my toothbrush vibrates like
a vibrating toothbrush. Oh, that's smart. Well, that just makes good business sense.
But
no, that's not the winner though. That's a good call though. Anything that vibrates. Lyle, what do you think?
I would say a hole in the wall.
Well,
there's one in the...
It's not something you fuck. It's something you fuck yourself with, if you get me.
Oh.
The phallic.
Yeah.
A phallic type penetration.
Oh. doorknob. How's that?
Jesus
I knew
Christ.
a chick. Well, never mind. I knew a chick at a party.
There's a girl on TikTok
time,
that she doesn't do it on TikTok, of course, but she's
no, it's her OnlyFans.
her name on TikTok is the original toe ball girl, I think.
Oh my!
And she does it with the
What does that
toe
even
ball.
mean?
You know,
Oh my
like a toe,
God.
like a fifth wheel, or not a fifth wheel.
Oh,
well, yeah, like a toe
hitch?
ball. Yeah, like a
Like
hitch.
a hitch. Yeah. That's
Which
2 inch
is
ball.
very doorknob-like. It's a little more ball-y, but probably about the same
Oh.
girth.
Those things can be big.
Dude,
Well,
those
shoot.
are huge.
That's why she's
They're
famous.
like 2 inch. They're 2 inch in circumference, which means like if you were to like.
That's why she's famous.
Wow.
She's so famous that people started copying her, and she had to change her name to the original toe ball girl
Oh.
because now there are several.
That was number one. You
Don't
guys-
settle for less.
I remember hearing a
You
long
still
time
don't
ago
wanna watch toe ball.
at a party a buddy of mine went to. He said that there was a girl that was trying to get laid, and nobody would fuck her, and she ended up, I guess, dropping her trow and then like mounting the doorknob at the party.
Okay, scale of 1 to 10. One
Not so
being
hot.
total dude story, 10 being absolute truth. I'm giving that a 2. I feel like that's a dude story.
Dude story?
Something I saw,
Totally,
not something that happened.
It
And
was
she
the
pulled her
80s, man.
titties out. She was rubbing them together, and then I won the lottery.
Now listen, I know crazier things happen, but I don't trust anything guys say about one time I was at this party. Although, how many stories have
And
I
you're
shared
probably right. You
on
know,
this podcast?
chicks are kind of. Well, I don't know, dude. I've had a couple chicks that were kind of a little freaky deaky.
Well, anybody
tried to
could
mount.
be.
But fuck a doorknob, friggity.
Dude, well, it's not the bed I have now. I have a
I feel
sleigh.
like a dude
sleigh
is more
bed
likely
now.
to pull his ass out and put a thing
No
in it
shit.
at a party than
Hear me
any
out. Hear
woman.
me out. The bed I have now is a sleigh bed, right? So it's a sleigh bed. Everybody knows what a sleigh bed is. The bed I had before that was a post bed, and the knobs on that was about the size of my fist.
okay.
It was pretty big.
Yeah.
And one of my ex-girlfriends, she hinted like she was gonna try it, and I was like, no, don't do that.
Mhm.
I don't want to see it, but I don't. Just don't do it. Just please don't.
Yeah.
She was gonna mount it. She put her leg up. She's opening up and ready to go. I'm like,
Well,
no,
listen, I can
don't.
vouch that a bedpost or chair post, for that matter, is an all too willing
You could have
participant.
said trigger warning. You know,
I totally forgot.
I'm
No,
gonna
it's
fucking
okay.
make a
New year,
I'm
new
gonna
rear
make a
trauma.
shirt. No, I'm making a shirt that has like two fucking of those posts, big, like next to each other, just the post part though, and it's gonna say "Never forget."
Oh no.
Dude, sexy
Well,
girl.
at least people won't be featured or focused on my particular trauma.
We'll get that spun up on the T Public store for our
Yeah.
next episode with
The
featuring
dial.
9/11.
Dialed
Never
in post
forget
haste.
with two fucking chair posts.
That'll be your meetup shirt to wear, and we'll all sign it. That's our promise to you. If you buy that T-shirt for a meetup, we'll all sign it.
Oh my goodness. Okay, where was I? Oh, it's interesting that you brought that up, not just because of my personal accidental
chair?
experience with posts, but bedposts or chair posts was actually number 2 on the list. Number 1 has not been called yet, John Mark. I don't think have we heard you take a turn here?
No, I'm just trying to think of like what a common item that
Non-food. I wouldn't have
Yeah,
thought of this, and I feel like it's risky. I'll explain in a minute.
I don't know, like hairbrush.
Hairbrush? No. That will tickle your pickle, but
Like the handle part, I guess.
hey, you do it how you want to do it, John Mark. I would go in bristle first, but let's just say I'm a little jaded back there.
Shampoo
No,
bottle?
It was actually a candlestick.
Oh,
Number
you know what? I was
one-
thinking that, but it's like, who has
Fuck, it's
candles anymore?
candlesticks.
Yeah.
That was exactly my thought. I was like, are we just
well,
imagining
what?
things that would work, or do you really
see, it's
reach
like-
for your
so
candlestick?
I thought of that, and then I was like, well, no, most candles that we have around here are like in a glass
They're in a
jar,
jar.
or like or like they're really big, like really girthy, like way too girthy, right?
Okay,
like,
well, I got to stop you there
I guess judging by Lyle's experience recently in the store, that they're not too girthy, but
what I was just going to say, because I got to stop
1800, like 1826.
This does not actually say candlestick. It says candle. So maybe what we are talking about is a jarred. Jesus Christ, the skinniest ones would be those like religious ones.
No, it's gonna say it's like the Jesus fucking ones, like the ones you did
for like a Hanukkah.
Yeah, the prayer candles, I believe they're called.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, there you go.
That's glass. You don't want to be poking glass up there.
Oh, yeah.
No,
we go from
seen video
blue
of
waffle
that.
to glassass.com.
Oh, you just had to drop the actual website. Do you suppose that someone is still paying for that fucking domain?
No, it's not there. Don't ask me how I know.
You look.
How do you know?
I went to check. Like somebody brought it up the like I don't know, maybe a year ago. I was like, don't go. Just don't go there, man. You don't want to do it.
That was one of the earliest, I suppose, sex-related shock videos I ever saw. Oh, glass ass.
Yeah, I still cringe thinking about that.
Well,
Jesus.
sure, we all should.
Because, I mean, Jesus. Jesus.
Well,
how do you fix that? I mean, how do you fix that?
Surgery.
You can't go to something.
Boy, you got me thinking loud. This has been so long, and I'm sure this dude has had his share of people reaching out for an interview, but what a great comment scoop to reach out to the glass ass.
Make a note, Ron. Mr. Glass ass.
It's a slow time of year for arts and entertainment. We might have to do ourselves a spread on the original sex shock video, glassass.com. Boy, what a piece. You know what? I'm just gonna skip all this other shit. It's mostly just gross and troubling, and I think we got to get on to some news quiz or weird triv and get on out of here. Yeah.
Sure. Let's do it. All right. Cut me off guard. Hold on.
Felt like I learned so many. I promise you, a lot of people that are listening are like, "Wait a minute, what? The blue, it's blue. I can see it." No, you don't. I mean, you see it, but it's not there. But the sky's blue. No, it ain't. Fucking bullshit. Everything's
water's
bullshit.
Wet. Yeah.
Prove it.
Can't take that away from me.
It only seems wet because the dryness. Yeah, this is bull ass shit right here, man.
Yeah.
It's Weird Trivia with Christopher F. Hart, a man from Florida who thinks square shit in nature. Don't get me started on the goddamn brown hair. It's Weird Trivia that might get Christopher fired.
Welcome to Weird Triv. I'm gonna start entering every one of these like that. Welcome to Weird Triv, guys.
Have a seat.
It's gonna be a really good time. He's like Chris Hansen on To Catch a Predator. Have a seat.
Have a cookie.
Evening. I see you brought some Taco Bell.
Excellent.
Have a seat.
And a rope and some condoms. Perfect.
Looks like a fun time planned, huh? I wasn't gonna do anything for.
No, have a seat.
I missed
All
that.
right, question one.
Greatest show ever.
This.
Oh God!
I
got the funniest fucking image of Chris using two of those giant dildos from. We might as well just use it as a sponsor for the show, for the love of it, as nunchucks.
Yeah.
Numfucks.
All right, question one. This famous musician and talented composer actually couldn't play or can't play a single instrument and can't read music sheets. They would often write songs by humming all the instrument parts of their music and recording that. Who was this? Was it Ozzy Osbourne?
I believe
Frank
that.
Sinatra? Michael Jackson? Or Rihanna?
Or for the bonus question, could it be that guy from the 90s that goes
or Eddie Money?
I gave us an Eddie Money break.
Dummy?
He's coming back.
Eddie Money's coming back.
Yeah. Again,
I need
this
the question
famous musician. This famous musician. Why is that a tough word for me tonight,
It's
guys?
tough.
Magician?
Actually, cannot play a single instrument and can't read music. They would write their songs by humming all the instrument parts and recording it. Ozzy Osbourne, Frank Sinatra, Michael Jackson, or Rihanna? Ella, Ella, A.
Well, I would
Diamonds
believe
on
all
your
of them
radar.
except Frank Zappa is such a
Frank Sinatra.
Oh, you said Frank. Wow, where the fuck did I get Frank Zappa?
I don't know.
Because he's better than Sinatra.
Okay,
Yeah.
well that. I was gonna say, well, Frank Zappa had to. I know he knew. He composed fucking
Music.
No.
Well, he's
now they're
famously
just
amazing guitar player
leveled
too.
the playing field. Fuck.
You can't.
It's funny you said it twice,
you-
and I still heard Frank Zappa. Well, I would be kind of surprised if Ozzy Osbourne wrote and read music, but Frank Sinatra wouldn't have needed to as a singer. I don't know if he was much of a composer musically. Rihanna, I would believe that Rihanna knows her shit. What was the last one? What am I missing?
MJ, Michael Jackson.
I would believe that at some point his father beat learning music into him. And I'm not trying to be funny. It seems like something. I don't know how he would have gotten away with not being forced to go to some sort of musical.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with
70s,
Ozzy. I'd be shocked if Ozzy knew how to fucking read books. Think of how young Ozzy was when he became famous, and how quick he was to just dive into being Ozzy Osbourne. Like no one has lived that life harder. Well, maybe Lemmy, but even Lemmy had like sense. Like he would have that philosophy. It's not how much you drink, it's how fast you drink it. Ozzy had no such philosophy. Ozzy was literally snorting ants off the fucking sidewalk just to make people laugh.
Biting bats and shit.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Ozzy.
Metal things.
Interesting question.
Okay. John Mark.
Yeah, I'm waffling between Ozzy and Frank, but
Are you blue waffling?
You're not blue.
I think I'm gonna go with Sinatra.
Okay.
Something to be loved by anyone. Is that who? That's Frank Sinatra?
No, that's Tom
I believe
Jones.
it is.
Oh, that was Tom Jones, wasn't it?
It's not unusual to be loved
Whoa.
by anyone. I love watching him dance back in those old 70s clips.
So, there was a tidbit I remember reading lately, or seeing actually, about Michael Jackson. And he, at the time, didn't have anything to record anything for the beat of, I think, Beat It. And so he kind of hummed it out, and they kind of played the music, and that's how it was actually wrote. And it was super fast. You know, he didn't write anything down, but he hummed it out, and people just kind of went around him and gravitated around him and made the song. But I think that was a one-timer. I'm gonna go with Frank, old Frankie. As a, like I said, unless he's playing piano or something like that, or instruments at all.
I don't feel like I ever saw him playing. That's meaning he wasn't writing his own music. He could have been.
It's possible.
He's just the
But
crooner, and a lot of people don't even consider him a singer. He just sort of said the words. Kind of like Johnny Cash. Not really singing, but talking in tone and in melody. Yeah.
Johnny Cash.
I consider Johnny Cash to be
Burning Ring of
far the superior singer out of the two, but I like both.
I'm going to remind you guys as we move on to question 2 here that Lyle took you guys to Pound Town last week.
Yeah.
And the king is back, so you better watch yourselves.
Whipped out a baby-sized
Daddy's back
product. No, don't
All
say
right,
dad.
question 2.
My
When
phrase
trains were
back to back with your phrase was that was tough. Go ahead.
When trains were first introduced in the U.S., there was a real fear that women would not be able to handle riding them. As trains at this time would approach speeds of 50 miles per hour, it was commonly feared that this would happen to women. as they hit 50 miles per hour?
Maybe.
Is it A? They would get the vapors and lose consciousness.
Oh, for sure. Faint. Ah, hold me.
You women and your vapors.
Is it B? It would be harmful to their ovaries and would cause birth defects.
Well, got the tism.
Yeah, that's how
Careful.
Tism is born. On the train.
Yeah. On that train. Rolling down that train.
Is it C? It would give them unwanted orgasms.
Oh, that would freak the dudes out.
Oh, how can I do that?
She's gonna think she
Or
don't
is it
need
D?
me.
It was commonly believed that their uteruses would fly out of their bodies at that speed.
They got wings and flew away.
Oh.
Again,
That's scary.
Okay.
when trains first came to the United States, it was commonly worried that this would happen to women if they rode the train. Like, this was a common fucking worry because it would approach 50 miles per hour. Again, they'd get the vapors, lose consciousness. It'd be harmful to their ovaries. It would give them unwanted orgasms, or that their uteruses would fly out of their bodies.
I'm
Monster.
so tempted to go with the orgasms things because I've read stories about things like this from the old days, but I feel like it was
There's
about
so much fear of women's sexuality.
well,
right?
Yes.
I know this happened with cars because cars were jalopies. They bounced around. They were vibrating, and I think it probably could have even been a thing. I don't know.
Well,
Those
it's a
early
Harley Davidson, dude.
trains might
You
not
put a
have
girl
been,
in the back of your Harley Davidson. It's a rigid tail, man. It's
probably
proven.
put me on the back of your
again and
Harley
again.
Davidson might have the same effect. But I remember reading, maybe this was even in high school when we were learning about, I don't know what the correct term for wives' tale is. I guess urban legend, maybe? Does that kind of work? Old, just myths, I guess myths.
Yeah, urban legend.
That have since been disproved. And one of them was that the uterus was literally this like disconnected sort of thing that just hung in a
floaty
woman.
thing?
Yeah. A lot of early doctors thought the placenta was the uterus falling out, so they tried to shove it back in.
God.
I'm talking like early doctors, like pre-medicine doctors, but that story's somewhere in my head. God, but the fucking
No shit, it is.
I have read so many things about the. I wonder if that in and of itself is a myth, where car makers are like, we have to make these things smoother because it's getting our women off. I read something about this. I'm so
Look
tempted to
that
go with the
shit up,
orgasm, but
son.
I'm going to go with the fear that they thought the uterus. Yeah, we're going to look at it. I looked up enough for one night.
Fuck yeah, you are.
I got
Put you
3
down
red
for
flags
all
as it
that.
is.
Damn it.
I'm going to go with they
John
thought the
Mark.
uterus was going to fall out because I know that was a thing that they
boy.
thought uteruses were
God,
just
okay.
loose.
Floppy.
Well, you may or may not know that I'm a big fan of all things fainting couches and smelling salts and vapors. So, I'm gonna I'm gonna go with the vapors because it's just amusing to me.
Love it.
Have you guys ever smelled
Lyle.
smelling salts?
I don't think so.
not.
It's been
my
in the
dad
news a
straight up
lot
woke
lately
me up with them once.
because football players use them a lot to like get a little boost of energy. But
It is so.
what is it like?
Okay.
Joe-
It feels like all of your nerves in your body get jolted really fast. Like the smell is so intense, it sends a shock through your body.
Makes sense.
Wow.
And it's brief. It's like fucking quick though. You're like, woo. And when you know, it's not. I would not call it pleasant. At
What
all.
is it? Do you know off the top of your head? Anybody what it actually is? What the chemical is?
I don't.
Sulfur,
My dad was a construction worker, so he had them in his like construction kit.
I'll look
And
it up while
I
we
was like
move on.
12.
It's probably.
I was like,
sulfur
I was like 12, and I was
dioxide.
like, "What's that?" And he told me, I was like, "Wake me up with one sometime." Fucking 5 a.m. the
I'm
next
so
morning.
glad one of us
I
has
remember more
actually
than
experienced because I'm dying. I was dying to know what it felt like.
I remember more than anything the sound of the capsule breaking. It was like almost like electric. Like I could hear. I don't know. It's so weird.
The Joe Rogan's been doing it lately. He has a bottle of it, and with some of his guests he'd share it with. Like
Smelling
Theo
salts?
was. Yeah, he had a little jar of smelling salts, and it's the episode that he had Theo on.
Didn't
Theo,
he sponsor? I feel like one of his
his last
sponsorships
name?
was like nose candy. It looks like it's ammonia is the main. Oh, that's
Ew.
terrible.
Gross.
That's the pungent thing that hits you when you get like a face full of cat piss.
Yeah.
Or bleach with chemicals. Fuck that. That'll do it though, I guess.
Nasty.
Yeah. Okay, where are we at? I got John Mark. I need Lyles.
I don't even know where we're at. What was the question?
We're talking about the train.
Oh yeah.
These second shows are always going to be my favorite, I think.
I'm gonna say that like the same method as the Harley Davidson. I think depending on how contoured the seat of the train is, which oh my God, some of those trains were fucking very, very nice. Nicely built. You know,
Are we still talking about the sex shop, Lyle?
No, I'm not talking about like dildos in the chair or anything. I'm talking about the trains, the way they're designed, the finishing, all the woodwork, the bronze work, Go play Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah, they probably wouldn't be cushy. They'd be hard getting them all them vibrations.
It would probably have a little bit of. It's not like a horse-driven carriage. This is a train. This is a different time of era.
Yeah, Chris.
So I'm thinking that it probably did still give that little vibration.
Okay. You going with the orgasm?
Good vibe.
Don't talk to her. She's got a headache.
Well, if it happened, then I guarantee you the men were threatened by it because that's.
Oh, for sure.
That's men.
Question 3, I wanted to bring because it kind of reminded me of that wacky time when I was going through my dad's shit and I found his safety deposit box. So here we go. In 2000, the Civic Museum of Regina, I don't know, fucking the Thames River, acquired an antique safe from the 1900s, which remained unopened for nearly 2 decades. It wasn't until 2019 that they sought help online. A volunteer figured out the combination and discovered another door within with a keyed lock. After an extensive search, an antique key was found to fit the lock. What did they find when they opened this almost 200-year-old safe? 140-year-olds. Anyways, what did they find in this safe? Was it A, nearly $1 million in silver coins?
Oh, shit. Have you guys been seeing this shit that silver might actually outpace gold in the
Really? I've heard things that are crazy about it, yeah.
That's insane because I have a couple of gold pieces. They're worth like $30 each. Those exact pieces in gold are worth like $2,000 each.
Silver,
if that actually happens, then my silver pieces become more valuable than gold. There's so much bullshit going on right now, though.
Well, you figure a lot of people be melting down their silverware. The old-timey silverware, the plate.
Anyway, sorry. Go ahead, Chris.
Is it B? They found a deed to a piece of property in Florida that no longer exists due to flooding. Sorry, struggling here. A deed to a piece of property in Florida that no longer exists due to flooding.
Doesn't that suck? You get like 100 acres of awesome, prime land. And then you maybe even like oceanside property.
By the way, I have to give a little shout out to Lyle's theory about why silver may become more valuable. If we become overwrought with werewolves.
Werewolves, silver.
It's not a bad theory.
I'm glad you got that because I wanted to roll with that.
That's a good theory. Anyway, boy, that would be disappointing, wouldn't it? And likely.
Wouldn't it suck? All of a sudden, we're just overran with werewolves.
Oh, yeah, both.
We need silver to kill them. Yeah. Sorry, Chris.
It's okay. Did they find C, a rat skeleton?
Yeah, that's how treasure hunting goes.
Or D, a single paperclip? Again, what they find in this almost 120-year-old safe? Nearly $1 million in silver coins, a deed to a piece of property in Florida that no longer exists, a rat skeleton, or a paperclip. Ronster.
I'm trying to imagine when paperclips were invented.
Oh yeah,
I'm guessing it was probably the Victorian era.
Around the
seemed like an engineering
around
sort of time.
For sure.
It's all a guess. I don't want to drag it on longer. So I'm just going to, oh boy, I kind of want to guess the rat skeleton. Because how many of these things, whether it's Al Capone's vault or these other honey hole type things that are make this big special about them, and it's all the big womp womp. Fuck it. I'm gonna go rat skeleton. That sounds like the life of a treasure hunter.
Okay.
Well, this was
John Mark.
treasure hunting, I guess.
It's probably a paperclip, but I'm going to go with the rat skeleton too because it just is the most fun.
I'm dying to know when paper clips were invented. How old was this?
50 years old.
Oh, the 1900s. So
okay, yeah. Paper clips would have been invented by then. I'm sure.
You know what? I'm gonna go with the deed. Hopefully, that somebody got like at least a little excited about it until they flew out to Florida and then went shit.
That's a good story.
Yeah.
That's a Twilight Zone story.
All right, question 4. Bananas. Let's talk about them. One of the following statements about bananas is true, and the rest I made up. And I know we did a story on bananas not too long ago. A really fucking fascinating one about the clones.
What about
right.
Beetlejuice?
That's right. Nobody living today knows what a banana tastes like.
Yeah, or like the artificial banana flavor was more accurate to that.
Oh, the seeds too. That's gross.
So gross.
Okay.
I've seen those with the seeds in them. It's like,
one of the following statements about bananas is true. The rest I've made up. Is it A? When bananas first came to the States, a single banana on average cost more than a steak dinner for 5.
potassium.
I'm sorry, read that again?
When bananas first came to the States, a single banana on average would cost more than a steak dinner for 5.
Okay.
Very expensive.
It was phallic,
Exotic.
Is it B?
Phallic.
Bananas used to be purple.
You think a blue waffle's bad? Wait till you have a purple banana.
I'm thinking they weren't really purple. It's what your eyes perceive.
Match made in hell.
Is that what it was? I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Ron, look that up.
Light carriers at a different frequency of cost appeal.
They were actually gold, but the human eye registered them as purple.
Is it C? Bananas are slightly radioactive.
It's radioactive. Huh.
Or is it D? Bananas contain significantly more vitamin C than oranges do. Again, what's true about fucking bananas? Is it A? They were very expensive when they first came to the States. B? They used to be purple. C? They're slightly radioactive. Or D? They contain more vitamin C than a motherfucking orange. Ronster.
Well, I know bananas are supposed to be super nutrient packed. I don't think I've heard anything about vitamin C, but that doesn't mean anything because I thought that our veins that looked blue were blue. In the sky that looks blue was blue, and I've been proven wrong. I like that they were super expensive. Where do bananas even come from?
Islands.
Islands? Islands
They're
period?
an island fruit.
It has to be surrounded by water.
Hey, you know what, Ron?
I think we grow them here in the States.
What if that whole blue thing was just an attempt from the government to brainwash us, kind of like the Boundstain Bears or whatever? Remember that?
Oh, no, don't open a whole new wormhole with Boundstain Bears.
You know what I'm talking about. I don't remember what they're called.
Berenstain. Or Berenstain. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, could be that. And the internet's just lying to you, and we're right.
Well, the internet is lying to us, and we're wrong.
Could be.
I'm going to go with, in the interest of brevity, that they were super expensive. They were the single banana. Yeah, fruit used to be a fucking luxury. Even the fruit that we grew here in the States, it was a delicacy. To ship that shit back in the day, even on the continent. And I'm almost positive bananas come from somewhere. No one's weighing in and helping me here, so I'm out on a island so to speak.
Tropical feeds.
Tropical
I
regions.
feel like that shit would have been expensive when we first discovered them, and super exotic, super rare. So I'm gonna go that they're the price of a steak. Cows, on the other hand, we had plenty of.
Buffalo,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
John Mark.
I'm gonna go with they used to be purple.
No, I can't handle. I can't handle what's happening in that yell. If that ends up being true, what made them yellow?
I swear by the Christ of light.
Jesus.
Well, there's a real yellow purple banana scenario right here. But if they were, I guess it kind of makes sense because, like we said, the flavor apparently has changed significantly. So why wouldn't the color?
Well, they used to have seeds in them, remember? Until they were genetically pulled out, where they made them where they're seedless.
Did they have seeds
Kinda
while we
like
were
watermelon.
alive?
Yeah. Well, when they were brought to the States, yeah.
I feel like if you cut them in half, you could see some sort of.
No, these were straight up seeds, dude. You could
like
see them. I mean, they were.
I'm gonna look some shit up. I've already answered, so I'm gonna look a thing up.
You go look at that, and I'll give you my answer.
Yeah.
My answer is pretty in depth a little bit, and I could probably do it in 2 sentences. So, I'm gonna go with radioactive, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because a lot, I think, of nuclear weapons were tested, and in the 20s. Well, wait, what was it? Maybe 20s, 40s, more like 40s. And I think more than likely, just from trade winds, we get radiation from some nuclear, explosions like miles and miles away. So and that's typically I think where they kind of tested nuclear weapons in the first place was more of the tropical regions of, just because it's ocean.
Bananas came from Bikini Atoll.
So I'm gonna go with that.
Okay.
Little trace.
This is another very interesting weird triv. I can hardly wait to go over the answers. So let's get right to it. This famous musician, who was also a talented composer, couldn't actually play a single instrument, couldn't read music. They'd often write their songs by humming and beatboxing into a tape recorder. We were talking about Michael Jackson.
MJ.
Oh, I think I missed the beatboxing part.
I left it out when
I think he added that.
I put some emphasis on it during the review. I left it out because I thought it was too telling.
Because he knew that I passed this out.
Kind of is.
Please, give it to me, Ron.
Busted. Been doing that since I've been 7 years old.
I have told people the story about you doing that. People that you'll never meet.
Like, nah,
this is so funny to me.
Can't be done.
No way. Okay. Nobody got that right. Whiff on the first question here.
Okay.
I was gonna say I've heard Ron beatbox, but it wasn't like that.
Oh, he's done that on the podcast
actually
many
better
times.
than that.
Well, I'm out of touch. I'm out of practice.
Yeah, well,
Question 2.
I need to do it on a treadmill for 3 hours, apparently.
Well, there you go.
Don't be a pussy about it.
This motherfucker half-ass beatboxing like a fucking pussy. Ooh, them's fighting words.
When trains were first introduced in the U.S., there was a real fear that women would not be able to ride them because trains would approach speeds of 50 miles per hour. And it was commonly feared that their uteruses would fly out of their fucking bodies at that speed.
Shit,
because what the fuck?
Yeah, they did. They thought the uterus was. At some point, they thought that what sometimes came out, usually came out with the pregnancy, the placenta, was part of the uterus, and they would shove it back in, causing dilemmas, as you might imagine.
Jesus fuck.
Yeah, we had to learn some things.
Yes. Which means Ron has drawn first blood. Point in round 2 there. Question 3. In the year 2000, the Civic Museum of Regina, who knows?
Thames.
Thames River. acquired an antique safe from the 1900s, which remained unopened for nearly 2 decades. When they did finally open it up, inside was all that was left was a little paperclip.
No.
Well, because you guys, it was locked. Well, no, I guess whatever. I was gonna say it was locked at then, but obviously
Rat skeleton's more fun.
What if the person that picked the lock just picked it with the paperclip and left it behind? But it does make you it does make you imagine what was in that paperclip. Like something was there, but why would you pull it out of the paperclip? Like, I'm gonna take this and leave behind this
big
metal I don't need to carry.
That paperclip would be pretty sprung, if it was a big wad of cash.
What a weird thing.
Question 4 was about. Nobody got that right either. Another whiff. Question 4 was about bananas. And I'm going to just weed these out here. Bananas did not used to be purple. Bananas do not contain significantly more vitamin C than oranges do. Bananas were not more expensive than a steak dinner for $5, but bananas are slightly radioactive. And this is from verify.com. Yes, bananas are naturally radioactive, but they're not harmful to eat because of the amount of radiation is extremely low. Bananas, like many common foods, do contain some natural radiation. But all of our sources say that eating, handling, or being near... ad just took over, so I cannot read the rest of this. But, cool. Anyways, bananas. A little radioactive, not a big deal, though. But I read that some other common foods are like potatoes or...
Aren't most things kind of radioactive?
This one slightly more than others. Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah. Well,
why
it's
are
the
some
continental
foods
drift,
radioactive?
probably.
Let's find out before we get out of here.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot. I mean, think about...
the most well-known examples of naturally occurring radionuclides in food are bananas and Brazil nuts. Yeah, but why?
These nuts? Brazilian nuts.
Food can gain this radioactivity in a few ways. Uptake. Roots of plants take in radionuclides from the soil. Deposition. Radioactive particles in the air settle into crops. Bioaccumulation. Radionuclides accumulate in animals that ingest plants, feed, or water containing radioactive material. So I guess if there has to be radioactive shit happening around the soil or the environment, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it boils down to. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Interesting.
Well,
they're not producing radioactivity. In other words, they're absorbing it from some other source.
Well, John Mark would remember the name of the city that in Russia that was like Chernobyl.
Yeah, Chernobyl.
Yeah, that's a prime
I
example.
think we would remember that. Well,
they're starting to go back into. They're starting to go back in there lately.
Well, they built the largest moving structure to put over it like a few years back. The documentary on Netflix is astounding. But guys,
really, I gotta watch
strangely, we have a tie again between motherfucking Lyle and Ron. So here we are again in this interesting position. Okay. Now, I've got a fun one for you here. This photo I just sent you guys is a photo of an auction that recently happened where they auctioned off the motherfucking bar from the show Cheers.
I spotted it immediately.
The entire bar. It's been stored and well kept.
From the postman outfit on the mannequin.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
How much? Open up a text message to me. Speed is not of the essence this time. How much did that go for? How much did that bar auction for?
Oh God.
Closest one's gonna take it home. Lyle's looking for a twofer.
Yeah, good luck with that. That was a once in a lifetime. Because I guessed. I had no idea.
I bet I'm low.
Lyle, I don't have yours yet.
I know. I'm working on it.
I bet I'm low. While Lyle's working on that, I just saw today on Facebook a shot of the Cheers set from behind the bar looking out into the crowd, the audience. And it was so wild to see it from that angle. It's like, that shit exists. That's how it's filmed and how it works. But it was crazy to see it from that angle.
I would really like to see like the Star Trek set. That'd been really cool just for my
Yeah.
youth, you know, to walk around something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, Ronster came in with $500,000. Lyle came in at $3 million.
Well, I'm figuring a collector probably bought it. You know, somebody.
I think
rich.
I'm low.
Actual retail price for the bar from Cheers was $675,000. Ronster's going to take this one home.
Okay.
All right, boy.
All right. I feel good about that.
Well done. Yeah, that was good.
600,000. Can you imagine
cheap.
having the Cheers
Oh,
bar
really?
in your fucking
house?
basement bar? Like you have people over.
Yeah.
It's like, this is the bar. Like that's Norm's booth. That like that's pretty awesome.
I'd take money at the door. I'd be like, $20 a head. Come on in, check it out.
It's funny because I sent $500K. I immediately thought I'm way low. I wasn't that low. Kind of seems like it would go for more.
I would imagine so too. Yeah.
The whole bar, just the bar alone, like building a bar is expensive, but having the bar from Cheers, fascinating.
That's pretty cool.
All right.
Well, you also get like the memorabilia of like the outfits and the, you know, stuff like that too. So.
Yeah, did they?
Yeah, like the signs and.
I don't know.
I'm assuming
that might have been a separate auction.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, I think that was a smashing success. Well, I mean, we'll see what people think. The first one, we just had to get caught up on things. But the second one felt like a full show and had some fun. I think this is going to be nice. And if we have time to get together next week, we'll do that and put that one in the can. I think that's what we should aim for because the later part of the month is definitely going to be pretty busy for the Ronster. We can get one more in the can. If we can do 3 episodes a month, I'll be fucking thrilled with that. But I think if we can get together next week, we can do a full month.
Awesome.
All right.
All right,
Either
guys,
way,
have a good night.
Tune in next week. We'll be talking about 9/11. On that, you can be certain. Till then, enjoy those blue waffles and purple bananas and the mind fuckery of the sky not being blue and our veins not being blue, and I don't know what anything means anymore. So
I don't even know what to say about that.
We're removing.
Might just have to move on.
Stop saying things
and live in my wrongness. You know.
Go to bed. It's time to just stop thinking and go to bed. All right, night, y'all.
Get it.
Night. Bye.
Wait a minute. What? The blue, it's blue. I can see it. No, you don't. I mean, you see it, but it's not there. But the sky's blue. No, it ain't.